Hello there, cat people. Dan the Cat Man here, and welcome to episode 14 of the Shelter Cats podcast. The podcast all about the shelter cats that have made a huge difference in my life and have saved my life, and hopefully will serve as an inspiration to get you to adopt a shelter cat of your own. Or if you have one, get a second or a third shelter cat, because most cats do well in pairs or more than pairs. Adopt, don't shop. Right now, as I speak, as you listen, please don't speak while I'm talking. I'm kidding. Right now, there is an amazing shelter cat that is looking for a home in your town right now, in a shelter, in a town shelter, in a rescue group, in a foster home, or even in a cageless environment in the back of a pet store, which is where today's guests have their cats for adoption. I cannot say this enough. There is no greater experience, there's no more rewarding experience than adopting a shelter cat, bringing that shelter cat home into your home, and experiencing all the love that a shelter cat can give you. No offense, dogs, no offense, birds, any other kind of pet. There is nothing, in my opinion, better than the unconditional love of a cat. So that's why I'm very, very, very happy and very excited that I got to interview today's guest, which I'll explain in a minute. But first, I want to hear from you. I'm hearing from more and more people and more rescue groups and rescue organizations, and we get to chatting, and I'm able to book out weeks and weeks of guests because more and more people will just reach out to me and tell me their stories, and I want to hear from you. Maybe you'll be on a future episode. You know, the first few episodes were me rambling, but it's turned into what I wanted it to be, where I wanted to give everybody, every individual rescuer or every rescue group or every shelter, an opportunity to come on this little podcast and tell their story and explain how they do what they do to help homeless shelter cats find their forever homes, because every one of them deserves a forever home. So find me. I'm on the web at tylerthecat.com. You could email me, dan@tylerthecat.com. Social media, I'm on Facebook, just search Shelter Cats. I'm on Twitter, Shelter Cats Pod, so Shelter Cats Pod. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, Shelter Cats Podcast. And I Instagram every day, my cats, and I TikTok every couple of days. And on my Shelter Cats page, I have shared admin duties with Alley Cats Rescue. Now, Alley Cats is the group that pulled my Taylor out of animal control, and he's my happy 13-year-old foster failure who is sleeping right next to me right now with one eye closed and one eye open. So they have many, many cats for adoption that they post on the Facebook page for Shelter Cats. So not only will you see my cats, you'll actually see cats that are available for adoption. So go on the page. I'm on Medium, just search Shelter Cats, or it's medium.com/Shelter Cats. I do a blog every Saturday. And you can support the podcast on Patreon and Spotify. And your donation goes 100% towards my ability to make a better podcast. Better microphone, better software. I'm doing okay, but I'd like to be able to produce a better podcast and have more guests so that more people can tell their story about how they're helping to find homes for all the shelter cats in the world. So on Spotify, if you go on the Spotify app or the web player, just look for the dollar symbol in a little bank looking thing, and you could click that and donate any amount. On Patreon, just search Shelter Cats or email me and I'll send you the link. And there are various tiers where you could, be a recurring supporter and, have access to me, or, become a regular on the show, that sort of thing. You don't have to support it. I'm not looking to make a penny off of this. All of this would go towards my ability to make a better podcast. So I'd love to hear from you. Even if you don't want to be a guest, I'd love to hear about your cats and how they've made a difference in your life, how you adopted them. Send pictures, tell me all the stories. I want to hear all of it. I love it. I love talking to people about that. So, without further ado, today's guest is Cheryl, who is the director of Long Island Feline Adoption Center. I just love that. Long Island Feline Adoption Center. It sounds very serious. They don't fool around. They are dedicated to finding homeless cats the forever homes that they deserve. And they don't just find the cat and then put them up for adoption. They socialize these cats. They socialize kittens. Some of them come off the streets. Some of them come from an owner passing away, or people get into difficult situations and can no longer care for their cats the way they deserve. So Cheryl and her team, take the cat, socialize them, make sure they're all spayed, neutered, up to date with their vet care, so they have all their shots and everything they need, so that they're perfectly healthy and fixed and ready to go to their forever homes. So their website is li-cat.org, and Cheryl is the director of Long Island Feline Adoption Center, and she's the cat whisperer. So I'm very excited to hear how she became the cat whisperer. I thought I was, but she is more of a cat whisperer, because I'm just a podcast person. She directs an entire organization. So without further ado, here is my interview with Cheryl. Now, we had two incidents where the recording kind of cut out for a second. So you're going to hear two spots where I go, hello, hello. I'm going to try to edit that out, but I might not be able to. So you might hear two kind of drop-offs, but that's okay. It's not about the beauty of the podcast. It's about the cats. So here's my interview with Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're live, so to speak.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I was very much looking forward to this.
Me too.
As we're recording, it's the Friday before July 4th weekend, and I'm happy for the hot dogs. I'm not happy for the fireworks. And as a cat owner, I'm sure you know why.
Exactly. The cats and the dog.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate it.
And especially my colony cats. I always worry about them. But anyway, Just to begin, can you, I guess, introduce yourself? I kind of called you the cat whisperer because
That's what they call me.
You are the cat whisperer, but can you introduce yourself and your organization, LifeAct?
Sure. My name is Cheryl Trencasi. I'm the director of Long Island Feline Adoption Center, and we are located at 126 East Main Street in Smithtown. We are inside the Pet Supplies Plus store.
Okay, and did you found LifeAct?
No, it was founded by a very generous woman who saw a bad problem out there with these stray cats, medical cats out on the streets. And she first opened up her home and had a beautiful setup in her home. And that was in 2009.
Okay.
And then at that point, it became bigger, and we decided to have an outlet and start an adoption center. And we've been inside Pet Supply.
You were saying? Hello, Cheryl? Cheryl?
Okay. Hello?
Hi, sorry, we lost you for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I don't know where I left off.
You've been in Pet Supplies Plus ever since?
Since 2009, we've been in the store. We're a separate organization from the store. We have a built-out cageless environment.
Oh, cool.
So the cats are free roaming.
That is awesome. I've every time I've gone in other pet stores, they get very small spaces. So that's great that you were able to have a cageless environment in one of those stores. I never think they have enough space for that.
Yeah, we wanted something different. We wanted a home setting. This way we could really learn their personalities and really put them in the perfect homes for them. We're known for being matchmakers. So when people come in, we find out a little bit about them, their background, who's in their household, and then we match them up with the perfect fit. And when we do it that way, it's always successful.
And how many cats? I know this is probably not a set number, but I guess on average, how many cats are in that environment in the store?
We can have anywhere between 18 to about 25, 26 cats at a time. It depends on kitten season.
Right.
So, which kitten season is spring and fall. So, kittens will be any time from now all the way up until Christmas.
I didn't realize kitten season lasted into cold weather like that. I always assumed it was spring.
Well, they start in spring and then they come again in the fall. They usually start being born the end of August, September, some even in October.
Cool. And do you have a network of fosters as well, or is it just that one location? Cheryl, I think we may have lost you again.
I don't know what, is that better?
I lost you again.
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay.
I had asked you if you have a network of fosters aside from that one location.
No, we're mostly in this location. I do have one person that I will call upon if we have a unique situation where we need a foster. But
Good.
usually they come in here after all the cats are fully vetted.
Okay.
So,
And is where do the cats? How do the cats find their way to you? Where do you usually get cats from?
people that have either found kittens that were born in their yard, sometimes cats that need to be surrendered due to situations in the family, whether it's they're moving, they can't take the cats, or if somebody gets severely sick or a family member has passed away and they don't have placement for the cat. So all different scenarios, but a
Right.
lot of them are rescues from the street.
Okay.
And we also have when we first started, we rescued about 50 to 70 cats that went into the home setting first. And then in 2013 and 2014, we opened a cat sanctuary in Texas.
Oh wow.
And those cats that were left over were transported there. Some of them were medical cats, some of them were semi-feral that were not okay to be on the streets and maybe not the best in a home setting. And they have a beautiful life in Texas. And sometimes we still will transport cats there that are in need of that kind of setting.
How did that come about that you found a location in Texas?
Well, the woman who started the organization, she first lived on Long Island. She moved to Texas in 2013,
Got it.
and they transported about 50 to 60 of these cats on an RV, a few trips. And it's a beautiful place. I'll send you a video of the cat sanctuary.
Please do, and I'll post it. I would have liked to have driven one of those RVs, definitely.
Yes.
Um, an RV filled with cats on a road trip, that sounds like a dream come true for me.
Yes, it was very interesting.
And how did you get involved with LifeVac, and what is your how did you sort of come to be the director, if you don't mind my asking?
Okay. Well, I've been in the veterinary field for over 15 years. I worked in emergency veterinary medicine, feline specialty medicine, and this fell into my lap over about 10 years ago. And I've been here ever since. And I believe it was just meant for me.
And
I've
and
always
you're
had a thing for cats.
and, and you're the cat whisperer. Tell me about that.
Well,
I thought I like to call myself the cat whisperer, but I might be wrong.
well, I'm known for turning around semi-feral cats. Some feral cats really don't want to be brought in. But some cats, they have a side of them that you could tell, or I can tell, that they can be turned around. So I help a lot of local rescues or shelters, or even people that might have found a semi-feral cat. I'll go check the cat out, and if I get a good feeling that I could turn them around, I bring them in. Some of them will be in the beginning spitting, hissing, and
Right.
then we turn them into little affectionate mush cats. So,
Could we get one secret? Like one secret, one thing you do, or is it do you
you mean
do
the way that I work with them?
like one little thing? Like what one of your tricks?
Well, I usually first start with I just have a way of talking to them. I don't ever try right away touching them. I usually start talking to them, always reassuring them, and I start to see their facial expressions change. And then I might take it to the next level where I might use treats, where I'll put treats next to them, but I'll keep my hand there. And it's just a way of them coming to the treat close to me without trying to pet them. And it just has them really just trust me. And at a certain point when I know it's time, that's when I go in for it. And I've never been wrong. So, and there's not been a cat that I haven't turned around and have gotten into a beautiful home.
That's
So,
amazing. That's amazing. And
yeah.
I like that you I like the I you know I looked through the website before we recorded, and I like that you match everybody in the house. I like that you called it matchmaker, so that everybody's on board and everybody is fully involved in the process. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. And that's the name they gave us. I really think it's important. Uh, you know, even if people come in here and they think they're looking for a certain cat or a certain age cat, I always tell them you go for the perfect fit. And being a cageless environment, we really learn the cat's personalities. We know which ones have to be the only cat, which cats need other cats, and even which cats will do great with dogs and which ones won't. Even if we don't have dogs in here, we can always pick up on that. So it's always successful. And I give my cell number out to every person that adopts, and I'm always a text message away, a phone call away. There's not an issue that they have that I won't be able to come up with a solution to make it successful. So I don't just adopt out the cats and just let them hang. So,
No, I
people
think
always have that ability to contact me.
that's very important that you
I
because
believe that.
it's always stressful for both parties at first. I all mine have had the first few. I have one that was acclimated right away. I had one that took 6 months. So there's always going to be an opportunity where you're like, am I doing this wrong? So having the ability to reach out to you, I think, is important. Um,
Exactly.
so what is the adoption process? I want to be sure that people that listen
Well, with us,
understand
uh,
that. If somebody wants to come to you for a cat, do they have to make an appointment to come see you? Can they just
yeah,
walk in the
we're
store?
open 7 days a week, and we encourage people come in. We'll usually ask them a few questions. We have a survey for them to fill out, and when they are 200% on one particular cat, that's when they would fill out an application. Once an application is put in for a cat, that cat is put on hold until I finish processing the application. We don't do online applications. We like them to come in, meet the cat, and really bond with the cat before they make that decision. And usually takes me a little bit to go over the application, and after there's an approval, then we set up for them to pick up. All of our cats and kittens are spayed, neutered, vaccinated, tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV. They've been dewormed and have had flea treatment.
Awesome. Now I'm all the way in Nassau County. Uh, is and there's a lot of there's a lot of rescues not too far from where I live. And you're out in Smithtown. Would you find that Nassau County compared to Suffolk County, are there fewer resources for rescuing? You said your cats come in, primarily, off the streets or through some, an owner passing away, unfortunately. Are there fewer resources kind of the further out you go on the island, or are there still a lot of like local rescue groups?
I think for more towards like Queens and the city, I think there's a little bit more of a problem. I've even taken cats from Queens, Bronx, um, New York City. People have reached out to me. They've had a little bit of a problem. I'm not familiar with, their difficulties, but I have had people reach out that had a hard time out there. But I personally don't know of how difficult it is.
And what in like your like Smithtown and the surrounding areas, is there a large population of, because there's so many homeless cats around these areas. There are so many colonies that rescue people that I know feed. Is it the same level, would you say, that far out on, I mean, Smithtown isn't, the end of the island, so to speak, but is there as big of a homeless cat problem, would you say?
Definitely, definitely. It's a huge problem. And, Smithtown Animal Shelter, who I work very closely with, I've actually taken a lot of cats from them. Usually they'll call upon me when they have those difficult cats. And they are excellent. They really are big on their TNR in their area.
That's great.
So that's great. Some of the other areas mostly are handled by personal people, personal groups that just do it.
Right.
But Smithtown Shelter is excellent.
I've heard amazing things about them. I'm glad that you work closely with them.
Yes.
Two more questions.
Sure.
Is there like, in all the years that you've been involved, is there a cat or like, is there like the greatest success story, or is there one cat that comes to mind whenever you? I don't know. I probably just asked a horrible question, but is there one or a few that you always say that you've been so successful in turning around cats that don't usually turn around? Is there one that you come to as that as the cat that all should aspire to be?
Absolutely. I had a cat named Milo, who the couple that rescued him, they always call upon me because they know I can't tell them no. And Milo was an adult cat who had no human contact his whole life. And I took a chance on him. I get emotional when I talk about him. He was a tough one, and I just really took my time with him. Sometimes when I'm working with them, sometimes the cats mostly gravitate to me. But with him, I got him to love and take affection from everybody.
Wow.
And it was a process, but he has been probably one of my biggest moments of turning around a cat. I used to tell, I feel bad for my volunteers because they probably say, no, not another one. And I tell them, don't worry, don't interfere in my process. Don't worry, we're going to get him there. And we always do. And he just was a great cat. Went to a beautiful home. And I always tell everybody I could have 1,000 adoptions. But when I turn around one cat, that means more to me than anything. So
I completely understand. How long did it take?
With him, I would say it was months. I had my tricks with him. He may not have liked it, but I would sing to him. So maybe he just pretended he liked it, so I would shut up. But I would sit in front of the cage, and I could tell he loved other cats. And I would sit on the floor in front of the cage, and all the other cats would gravitate to me. And I would always tell him, look, look how much the cats love this affection. You're going to get there. And he really, he just blossomed into one of the most precious cats. And one thing I always tell everybody, don't count out the shy, nervous cats, because to me, in the end, they become the most grateful. I truly believe that. I have two of them in my own home, and any of those cats that I adopted out, I just had a visit today from somebody who adopted one of those cats, and she can't imagine life without him. And I really tell people, don't count them out.
I have two like that. One hid under the bed for 6 months, and now my 13-year-old that I got from animal control, he took him under his wing. So the shy one helped the other shy older one, and now they're the best of friends. So I could not agree with you more. Could not
Yes.
agree with you more. And I always ask this question: how many cats do you have?
At home right now, I'm down to three. The most I've had is five, but I have all the ones here. So uh, right now I have three. I also have a dog and a ferret.
3 cats, a dog, and a ferret. Do they all get along?
Of course, you can't come into my home and not get along.
Cats and
So,
ferrets. I did that never occurred to me.
oh
Cats
yeah,
can get along with ferrets?
my cats are a rare form. They will play with the ferret. I've had hamsters. They've loved the hamsters. Um, any kind of doesn't matter. I've always had cats that, very sweet with animals. So I've had success with that.
Great. And I did a little intro before this, and I put your website out. It's li-cat.org, right?
Yes.
Great. Well, go to Long Island Feline Adoption Center. It's such an official sounding name. I love it. It
Thank you.
it's not a name you fool around with. It's not like, Kitties R Us. It's like Long Island Feet. Go there. They do amazing work. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me. And for at least one of your secrets, singing to cats. I play Sinatra a lot for mine, but I have a horrible singing voice, but I'll give it a try when I'm alone. But
Yes. And if I can mention, we're having our summer raffle basket auction August 12th, from 10:30 to 1:30. And we're going to have a lot of great baskets. If anybody wants to come down, support us. That's been one of our biggest obstacles with COVID is donations.
right.
So it'll be a great day.
And you're a 501c3, so
Yes,
definitely,
we are.
definitely, if you cannot adopt a cat, please consider donating to them.
Yes,
or
everything
giving.
goes only to the cats and the support of them.
Well, thank you for everything you do. Honestly, truly, thank you for sparing some time from them to just telling us about your mission and the mission of LifeVac.
No
And
problem. Thank you so much for having me.
go adopt a cat from Cheryl at LifeVac. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hello there, Dan the Catman again. That was awesome. That was great. Sorry about the two little blips. I couldn't really edit that without risking screwing up the recording, and that's why I need to figure out a way to raise a little money to get better equipment and just get better at editing. But that's okay. That's okay. No problems at all. I thought that was amazing. Just amazing stories. Just the singing. Just the singing to cats, I think, is a great idea. I play a lot of Sinatra. My first cat, Tyler, loved jazz. He loved Miles Davis and Oscar Peterson and Thelonious Monk. If I played any kind of jazz, he just came and hung out, and you could just tell he was just like chill. Like if I had a little beret and a pair of sunglasses and a cup of coffee, I would have given it to him. He loved jazz. My current cats, I listen to a lot of movie scores, older movie scores like Bernard Herrmann and Jerry Goldsmith, and famous old composers. And these guys love it too. I also listen to a lot of lately a lot of spa music because I meditate a lot. And my tailor, my rescue, will meditate with me. He loves the spa music. It's just that relaxing kind of music if you're going for a spa treatment or stuff like that. And he loves it. He'll come on the bed, he'll lay next to me, and he just loves to just hang out. And when I do my meditation and my breathing, he'll just kind of lay on his back right next to me. And it's almost like he's listening and he's doing it himself. So, some great tips, and they have amazing cats. So once again, their website is li-cat.org. They're at 126 East Main Street in Smithtown, New York, inside the Pet Supplies Plus. Their phone number is 631-360-3611. And they have a Facebook as well. Just look for Long Island Feline Adoption Center on Facebook, or go to the website and you can link to the Facebook page. They're open 7 days a week. So they're open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Well, actually Monday to Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And they're open Sunday, noon to 5. So plenty of chances. Go there and go look at their cats and bond with them. Take your time. Like I always say, let them come to you. The cat will choose you. You'll know. And Cheryl will know because she'll thoroughly vet you, pardon the pun, and she'll know the cats that she thinks will make a good fit for you and your family. So please go there. Please adopt one of their cats. If you cannot adopt, please consider donating. They have raffles coming up. Fundraising is always a huge need for all of these organizations so that they can afford to feed and clean and litter, and most of all, vet bills. Vet bills are ridiculous. Don't get me started. So they always need help. So if you can't adopt, please donate. And thank you, Cheryl, and thank you, Long Island Feline Adoption Center, for all the things you do. And I really appreciate having them on the show. And hopefully we'll have even more organizations like Cheryl's Long Island Feline Adoption Center, LifeVac, on in the future, because we have a couple coming up. And next week on the show, my good friend Kat will join me in the middle of a rescue for an animal that is not a cat. So it's a slightly different, slightly shorter, more me, less guest episode. But until then, have a great week and go cuddle with your cats.